Sir, there was a lot of talk about the Meghalaya Residency and MSRSSA Act, and a lot of talk had been there also regarding ensuring that it was implemented at the earliest. So let me inform the House that the Residency Act, that the Meghalaya Residency Safety and Security Act came into force in 2016, and consequently the rules were made in 2017. Sir, it was only in the month of September 2018 that the government, which is the current government now, had taken the step to ensure that the different task forces in the different districts were set up. Number two, after putting up the task forces, sir, there were a lot of exercises that were done by us in order to ensure that the different entry-exit points came in. Sir, I'm happy to inform you that it is this government that has ensured that in most of the sensitive and the most, I should say, traffic areas which are most accessible and are being accessed by most of the people, for example, the entry at Ribhoy and the different entry points at Umkiang side. These are major entry-exit points, entry points in Bajingdoba, entry points towards West Khasi Hills. So seeing the kind of traffic and the movement taking place, it is this government that initiated and started to acquire land or use existing land of the government to ensure that the work on entry-exit started, sir. So therefore, it would be incorrect for any member to say that nothing has been done after this act came into being. Sir, let me assure you that this government is very much committed to this issue. Not only did the entry-exit points at different important locations come up and have been worked on, but also the entry-exit point in the Mendi Pathar railway station, which is another very important demand and another very important issue that was brought out, was addressed by this government. Almost 50% of the work as we speak is completed in Mendi Pathar railway station, and these are the kind of initiatives that are being taken by this government, contrary to what has been projected in this house by certain members. So certain members, I saw the overall tone and the overall mood of all the members, and I should say that it was very encouraging to see that almost 90%, 95% of the members really were very happy to really see this kind of a program, this kind of a, implementation of an ILP is being finally proposed in our state to the central government. But it is kind of sad to see that some members express concern over whether the ILP will be effective or not. Sir, this is, I think at this point in time, a direct insult to those people who have been demanding for the ILP. The question here now is really where we stand. And the question is, how do we move forward, sir? And that is the reason why we have strongly felt that ILP is a rule that we must bring in for these to safeguard the interest of our people, contrary to some of the members who mentioned that this will not serve the purpose. I think, sir, once again, it's a direct insult to the sentiments of the people of the state right now, sir. Before, when we started this entire fight with the government, the entire 23,000 kilometers was not exempted. Entire 23,000 square kilometers of Meghalaya was not exempted. Today, the 22,900 is being exempted. The 100 square kilometer which you're mentioning is not exempted, but we are fighting for it, sir. We are fighting for it. And we will ensure that this also is exempted. So therefore, it is incorrect once again, sir, for honorable members to say that it will not be done. And the honorable member mentioned about settlement. So these are two very different issues. And I think our members are confusing it every time they mention these points. Now, so when we say that 97% of the area of the state is exempted from CAA, which means that if there is a Bangladeshi citizen who was here or staying here before 2014 now applies for a citizenship for Meghalaya will not be eligible in the state of Meghalaya. That is what it means, sir. The question of settlement in any part of the state doesn't arise. No matter where the person gets citizenship, it is the duty of the government to ensure that we protect and ensure that these kind of settlements don't take place. And that is the precise reason why this particular ILP resolution is being brought in by the government, sir. In the beginning, 23,000 square kilometers was not exempted from the CAA. It is because of the voice of the people of Northeast, the different leaders of the Northeast, the member of parliament from Garo Hills, speaking out, meeting the officials, meeting the ministers, meeting the political leaders, that today Arunachal Pradesh ILP has been exempted. Manipur, which did not have an ILP, ILP has been brought in, has been exempted. Mizoram ILP has been exempted. Meghalaya 6th schedule exempted, but we want more. Isn't this an improvement? And isn't this the work of the leaders who have ensured that these kind of provisions are there to exempt us, sir? I think we should be here thanking those leaders, including the member of parliament from Garo Hills, for having fought for the rights of the people and ensured that out of the 23,000 square kilometers, 22,900 square kilometers is safe now. It is because of the hard work put in by our members, sir. Today, a lot of talk has been there asking for the CAA to be repealed. Sir, again, as I said, the resolution today is very, very specific. The resolution today is talking about the inner line permit to be brought into the state of Meghalaya. We as a government and as an August House, we must stick to this resolution, number one. Number two, sir, what has been said by almost all the members, that we as members of this August House, as citizens of the state, we want Meghalaya to be exempted. And that is really what we're working towards. Today, as I said, we started with 0, but we achieved 97%. We have another 3% to go, so we will not keep quiet. That I can assure you. We will continue fighting and we'll continue talking with Government of India. We'll continue meeting the Prime Minister and Home Minister to ensure that we get the necessary protection for our people. And that is a commitment that we have for the people and for the state as a whole, sir. Therefore, sir, I think there are a lot of areas of concern. As a government, we will ensure that these misconceptions are dispelled. We will ensure that we do a proper mechanism in which we will go to different parts of the state, and the deputy commissioners will inform people about the facts of the Citizen Amendment Act. And at the same time, we will also ensure that all the other provisions, whether it's the MRSSA or the movement towards ensuring that we get the ILP, the movement will continue, sir. As a lot of the members have mentioned today, this is the beginning. We have taken a resolution. This resolution should have been taken a long time back, sir. And maybe if the resolution had not been taken earlier also, maybe the conditions were quite clear for us to have implemented ILP without this resolution being moved also, sir. But we missed that chance. I'm not here to blame anybody, but now that we are in this position, now we need to move forward. Another thing I want to clarify to everybody, sir, is that this ILP resolution we are passing is not something that will go to Parliament. It is a simple notification that has to be made by the President of India. It does not require Parliament, sir. And in that notification, the President simply has to insert the word Meghalaya in the preamble. And that is what our demand is. And I hope, sir, today, as we speak in one voice, and as we go together, not just the 60 legislatures, sir, but 33 lakh people of Meghalaya state in one voice, when we go to Delhi and say we want the ILP to be implemented, I'm sure that we will get a positive response, and we will continue to work with the Government of India and with the people of the state to make this happen, sir. That is the kind of work that we are doing from our side. And once again, sir, I urge the House that we now take up this resolution, which is something that I think is a long pending demand of the people of the state. And with these few clarifications, sir, I would like to resume my seat, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now, after the discussion is over, let me put the question before the House. The question is that those who are for the government resolution say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is carried and the government resolution is adopted and approved. Honorable members, I also would like to join hands and support with all the honorable members from both sides of this House who have spoken extensively in support of this resolution. Irrespective of party affiliation, the House has spoken in one voice on this very important government resolution, and we stand united and committed to serve for the welfare and the interests of the people of our state.